AR 600-55 Motor Vehicle Training and Licensing and Chapter 4 for the Army. Chapter 4 Driving Testing Station Teams. 4.1 Location Function. Driver Testing Station Teams will be established in the Army Installation Station, State of the Army National Guard Headquarters, major U.S. Army Reserve commands within the organization pertaining to the part-time temporary bases. Stations normally will be established as follows. One, an installation organization employing 50 or more non-tactical vehicles will establish in connection with or other parts of the transportation motor pool. Two, within training division services, schools, and organization activities, heavy operator turnover stations will be established as part of the personnel processing training motor pool functions. Three, the Army copied division's reserve components and other organization down, including the battalion service installations such as deposit port, and will provide the testing in stations in connection with the motor vehicle motor transportation activities. And as a part of headquarters motor pool functions connecting only United States areas are the area or section commands overseas will establish responsible for stations and it's needed for the process operators of widely distributed smaller units for their geographical areas. 5. The Transportation Truck Battalion normally will provide personnel and facilities assigned for the transportation truck units and exempt from where the installation similar commander requires for the existing testing of facility be used. B. The commander is authorized to adapt the driving testing as local requirements to the situation. Mobile testing teams may be desired in some areas. Remote situated to organizations units operating separately may be granted authority to test and qualify their own operators, and such inappropriate headquarters will make available necessary equipment for the testing materials qualified testing supervisors. The primary functions of the driving test stations will be conduct the driver's test, except for the military driver battery test 1, issue motor vehicle operator permits. They may include the regulated function of operator interviews, counseling, guidance, and recording, reviewing, evaluation of operators, record, security, issuance and scoring of testing material, preparation for, and control over the using testing devices, equipment, routes, and the preparation, authentication, renewal, or revocation of licenses. Also, administrative driver testing to the civilian personnel in accordance with the Office of Personnel and Management requirements. Each battalion testing station maintain a ledger of all permits issued. For the ledger will include a numerical sequence, the number of the permitted issued, the name of the social security number of the person who is issued, the date of the issue, type of the permit, type of the equipment, authenticated, qualified to operate, authority, the certification, signature, remark blocks. This ledger maintained on the calendar year basis to serve as a reference, ensure that the permit numbers are not duplicated. They identify the personal qualification, currency as a vehicle, equipment of the individual as required to operate. The battalions will isolated under the commanding may authorize the units to maintain their own ledgers. And the ledgers will also list issued permits in numerical order. The permit number can neither be allotted by a battalion developed by the detached unit. 4.2 Driving testing personnel. Transportation motor pools. Motor transportation will provide the testing personnel on a full-time, part-time basis within the capabilities existing tables of distribution, allowance, and tables of organization and equipment. Position and augmentation, however, there will be required of the training personnel specialists other than personnel stations processing more than 100 applicants per month. The following is the guide of the staffing and permit and time type of testing situation. The station will normally be supervised in the transportation corps of the commission, but the warrant officer, a qualified civilian. 2. An enlisted or civilian personnel will be qualified at the following: military occupational specialist, having an additional qualification required in paragraph 4.4. Testing station supervisor, 64C40. Driver counselor and trainer, 64C30. Training administrator, 64C30. Road testing examiner, 64C20. In addition, paragraph A above, the testing station will require the part-time service of the traffic control personnel testing assistant proctor. The services of qualification of the DA, the contractor specialist, may be used in any position enlisted and above. The Army National Guard vehicle driver and equipment operator testing team personnel will be established at the battalion or higher level. The battalion training Testing teams may be established at more than one location. The Army National Guard Battalion accompanying the detachment officer, warrant officer personnel may be delegated responsible for the program. Responsible will include the following: preparing a testing program with the personnel assigned to the command, organizing and training testing team personnel, provide equipment and material required for the testing, conduct tests as required by the Technical Bulletin 600-1, 600-2, Army Regulation 3855, and Field Manual 5530, and Field Manual 21305. Provided the units of the commanders that result of the test, the Army National Guard enlisted assigned to the testing teams will be qualified in the following: military operational specialists. They also will be having addition of all qualifications required in paragraph 4.4. Testing station supervisor, driver, counselor, trainer, testing administrative performance test checker. The Army National Guard testing team will require one part of the service of the traffic control personnel and test assistants of the proctors qualified, and the civilian personnel may be used in any of the positions listed above. 4.3. The driver testing station facility. The testing station will be provided as is indicated in the AR 611-5, Section 3, plus necessary training and media and clinical demonstrations. 4.4. Examiner qualification. The effectiveness of the motor vehicle driving test licensing depends upon the qualification of the examiners. Each examiner will be a reliable, responsible individual who possesses the knowledge of the test administration. The examiner must be qualified in proper driving techniques and completely impartial in all examination procedures. Two categories of examiners normally are required to administrate the test prescribed herein. There are personal management specialists, MOS 64C30, or for conducting the selection of batteries, motor transportation operators, MOS 64C20, for the conducting of the driver's performance test. Equivalent civilian technicians may be used. Personal management specialists will be assigned an appropriate unit of the personnel officer as required. In every case, however, the personnel must be specially selected and given additional training aids for their duties as a driver examiner, so they may be used and interchangeable throughout the testing process. Examiners should be qualified in both written and performance and test procedures. An evaluation chart for the selection of the instructor examiners is contained in the Field Manual 5530 and Field Manual 2117. It should be followed by determining examiner qualifications. The consistency of test evaluation road test examiners assigned at the station should be checked, and having different examinees simultaneously rated the same driver or application. After award, the rating should be compared, and an effort made to bring the findings of a single consistent standard. Road test examiner must be qualified on a license to operate each type of the equipment they verify. At those stations processing the office personnel management driver application, examiners also should be qualified by the office personnel management examiners. This will simplify the process of office personnel management application for employing SDA drivers. Chapter 5, Licensing.